Hello and welcome. We're just about to take off here from Bellingham, Washington. Our destination today is Port Hardy, British Columbia, on the northern end of Vancouver Island. Eventually gonna make it to Alaska, and then find some goofy stuff to do up there for a while. Light wind out of the west here for the takeoff, and then to avoid the Vancouver airspace, we're going to go mostly west to Victoria, fly over Victoria, and then start kicking for the north end of Vancouver Island. In the King Air today. And we're heading up to 10,500 feet. I'm going to try and make this VFR. I do have a route plugged in just in case I get lost, because I've never been up this way. Okay. The airplane definitely wants to fly, so let's go. Mercy. Flaps up, and let's go. Interstate 5 down there. So if I did my homework correctly, 10,500 should keep us clear of terrain. But if not, we can always nudge up a little bit. There are no VORs out here. The only VOR we're going to encounter will be Port Hardy. The closest one I can think of other than that would be Payne Field. Which I don't need today. Let's go ahead and give it over to the autopilot here. Pocket there, I guess. Or the autopilot, I'm not sure which. Now, one thing I'm not sure about is if Port Hardy is actually on what's called the Inside Passage. The Inside Passage to Alaska. Now really, when you talk about the Inside Passage, what most people are talking about is this kind of snaking route through a bunch of islands. Most of that happens north of Vancouver Island. In fact, the map I'm looking at on this website called Travel Alaska has shipping routes going to the west side of Vancouver Island. But I know you can go up the east side of Vancouver Island. That way you're in the lee of the island, so a lot of the really bad weather doesn't affect you quite so much. So it's a little safer. You're not on the open ocean. And there's lots of ports, little marinas, all kinds of things, all up and down the thing. And I know that Port Hardy is a pretty popular stop on the way to Alaska for sailboat folk, which I sort of am, but I haven't been that far north. It is right pretty country though. Get a skosh more speed here. Passing over Victoria now. Wait, no we're not. Yes we are. No we're not. Yes, we are. A little nervous there for a second. That'd be pretty embarrassing to screw up this early. Well, I'll tell you what we are going to do, just for grins. Yeah, I'll get to it in a second here. I'm zooming my map. Okay, Port Hardy is 112.00. No accidental time compression on this one. Okay, so coming up right off the nose up there is a town called Comox, or Comox, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, British Columbia, which tells me we're right on course, more or less. Headed the right direction anyway. But that would be, see that nice little bay there? Okay, you got the airport right in front of us. To the left, as far as I could tell, would be the town. Right on the side of that nice little bay there. And I'll bet they've got 2 or 3 pretty nice little marinas in there for the summer traffic up and down here. People going to Alaska, people saying they're going to go to Alaska, and then they say, well, I think we've gone far enough. And when COVID started, way back in, what was that, 2020? Yeah. Good Lord, seems like yesterday. I guess that the lockdowns and all that really started in the early spring, so, but there are a lot of people that time of the year who are out on the water. You know, maybe they live there, or they're living there for a while, or they're just going from one place to another. And they depend on these towns and these marinas to pull in, get food, get water, all that good stuff, gas up the boat, fix the boat. And Canada closed them all down. Everybody closed them all down. There were people trapped out on the water. They weren't allowed to dock anywhere. And I know people from the town I live in here were getting supplies, getting in their own boats and heading out to these people to bring them stuff. Otherwise, they would have just pretty much languished out there. Legally speaking, they couldn't even catch their own fish, as far as I understand it, if they had to, just to eat. I mean, everything was just banned. But they got through it, and here we are 4 years later. Yeah, that's a prime boating territory there. And our next point is going to be Campbell River. And I've never been to any of these places, don't get me wrong, but Campbell River, I did fly to in the sim once, in the King Air. I think I took off from Vancouver. Yeah, that's right. It was just an excuse to check out my new Vancouver scenery. So I just kind of hopped across the water northwest a little bit. That's Campbell River right down there. This would be a good chance to use the little Wizzo that I've downloaded on my phone. So according to this, I should be starting my descent at 33 nautical miles. And I'm going to make it 40 just to be on the safe side. Then again, with those mountains there, I don't think I'm going to be descending until I'm past those. There's the water over there. Dropped 100 feet or so there. A little discombobulated at first by all the noise because I haven't really heard this kind of noise with turbulence before. I don't know if I changed something. I don't know. Don't even know if that's... well, I'll shut up about it. I switched it back to realistic. All the turbulence stuff in FS Realistic is off now, is still off. So I'm trying this one in Realistic, just to see if... The only thing I was trying to avoid is that gigantic Paul Bunyan hand shoving me off to one side, you know, takeoff and landing. Which in my limited flying experience is something I've never seen before, even in bad winds. Okay, so that, I'm guessing, would be the greater Port Hardy area up there. So I think now we might be thinking about descending. It had 33 miles on the nose. Okay. So we're going to come down to about 2,500. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing, aren't I? Oh, I'm really doing the wrong thing. guess not Port Hardy, but Port Hardy's up there somewhere. Ah, there you are. Okay. Let's kill the autopilot. That's my runway because, according to the chart, that's the only runway that has approach lights on it. So... let's aim for this little sort of valley thing here. Well, the course is pretty much lining up, so that's my runway. I'll be happy with on the runway. That would make me happy. Paul Bunyan hand, come on.
That's how you land an aircraft.
That wasn't too bad. Wasn't on the center line, but it wasn't too bad. And no, I see no taxiways. That works for me. There we go. And this is, believe it or not, a freeware scenery. So was Bellingham, by the way. Just for a lark, I checked it out, see if there was a scenery for this, and there it was. Canadian flag proudly waving in the breeze. This looks like a nice place to stop. Welcome to Canada. And next time, I think a bit longer of a flight off to Ketchikan, if I can find the time. Till then, take care. Thanks for watching. See you later.